Alright, what up, y'all? It's Metaphor back for more to keep the raw, represent everyone's you and I verse. We're gonna do a video on Taurus in the seventh house, which is the Scorpio rising video. You know what I'm saying? The Scorpio rising series, and Taurus being fixed Earth, which is being able to practicalize your thoughts and relationships. You know what I'm saying? So like you have a very logical relationship. You see what I'm saying? With Scorpio being your first house, though, it's going to be this fixed water. So you're going to be fixed on your own personal life, fixed on your own personal feeling upon your life. Nobody really know exactly how you feel about, even yourself. So being able to relate in the seventh house is kind of difficult because Taurus being, wanting people being the sign of, Venus, having people want to give them value, show them that they love them and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Show the appreciation. So it's kind of difficult because if Scorpio isn't able to be forthcoming with this emotion of, oh yeah, I do fuck with you on a recurring basis, you see what I'm saying? Then this seventh house Taurus could be difficult to say if your partner is a Taurus. You have to keep on opening yourself up to a space that you might not be, feeling all the way comfortable about expressing. And it's like if you actually bring yourself all the way to the Taurus space, it's kind of difficult. It's kind of like, obviously this is an opposition whenever you have your seventh house. It's like the first house and the seventh house always in opposition. So, pardon the interruption. But yeah, Scorpio being in this first house, then your fifth house being Pisces and your ninth house being Cancer, right? I'm not expressing this because if you were like I'm speaking about Scorpios being forthcoming. So if you're able to express your dreams and also your care for others, so you're able to gain this knowledge and wisdom through your care. So like the seventh house and the ninth house are a sextile. So if you can express, and also obviously Taurus and Cancer are sextile as well. So to say if you're able to express your knowledge and wisdom about how you care about things, and relate it a bit to your seventh house and your relationship and your partnership and your communication style, then this will be a very good thing for you. Say that Scorpios might be just a little bit deep and dark and not really wanting to show anything. So it's like if you show at least maybe your knowledge and wisdom in the way that you rebirth things, right after Scorpio is Sagittarius. So if you bring your ninth house out with your, eighth house, it's kind of an interesting way I'm putting it, but to say that eighth house, I'm just going to explain it. Eighth house is birth Scorpio. To say that if you have your first house in the eighth house, it's like, I mean, your eighth house, being born, and then you have it in your fourth house. You know what I mean? I mean your first house. Well, shit, I got getting my words mixed up. Mercury opposite to my Mercury right now is interesting time. But yeah, it's like you have this deep and dark way of being in your personal life, as I explained earlier. So with this being here in your ninth house, Cancer being here, it's like if you're able to be cardinal with your emotions and show your knowledge and wisdom about why you feel this way, then boom, you can really relate that to your seventh house Taurus to say that you can be showing your love and appreciation through those emotions. So yeah, then your opposition here is obviously your first house, and it was pretty interesting. I'm thinking about the sixth house videos I was doing, and I was breaking down their opposition to the 12th house, and obviously like I was explaining, the first and the seventh house will always be opposite as well. But this is obvious. It's interesting because you think about it this way. It's like your fire and your air house. So if you let's think about your next fire and air house. Your next fire house would be your fifth house, and then your next air house would be the 11th house. So and these are obviously opposite as well. And you have this being Pisces is your fifth house, and then your 11th house would be Virgo. Yeah, because they're opposite. Boom. So the way that you express yourself is in this dreamlike manner, and it's kind of like a little bit scary sometimes. And also the way that you associate yourself is going to be wait, yeah, I'm thinking Pisces. I was thinking, in the back of my mind, I mentioned the 11th house, and I'm thinking Aquarius and Leo, but no. This is, like I say, Pisces first, and then Virgo second would be the practicality, but it's the mutable nature. So it's like the details, the critique, the maybe a little bit of criticism. Some may see it as critique or criticism, whichever words you want to use. But it's like this is the way that you associate. So if you can bring your detailed I expressed this in the earlier rising videos as well. If you can bring this 11th house and Virgo, the details and the practicality, and like getting all the nooks and crannies, I mean to say, in your association, you can really pick out who you really fuck with. And then this is also a sextile with your ninth house to say that if you can bring this association and this knowledge and wisdom about these details in your association, and then your knowledge and wisdom and your feeling, um, to say like your logic and then your emotion as well. But in your fifth house, it would be the a water, and then you'd have your seventh house being, what was it, Earth. So it's a little bit muddy here, but it's like if you can get through the sludge to say that water, Earth creates mud, you know, then you can really kind of like you know I don't want to say get to a new space because it's difficult for Scorpio to change at times. When they do, it's a complete rebirth and they're a whole new person. So it's like, getting into this astrology really help you anyways. But to say that this, like I just explained earlier, this fifth house being Pisces, um, it's just like don't be in the scary part of the dream. It's like even if you have a nightmare, it's still a dream and you still remember. It's like that's a dope thing, anyways. And that's something that's kind of stream of consciousness for me because I used to have nightmares when I was young, and now it's kind of like, well, shit. I write down all my dreams anyways if I remember them, and they're applicable. Like it was interesting. I just had a dream about just like writing in my notebook, but there was so many other things happening. I'm just like, all I remember is writing in my notebook. Maybe I'll just write that down. But yeah, beside the point. But yeah, this is video on Taurus seventh house and Scorpio rising series. So yeah, holla back at me, y'all. It was kind of funny in the beginning of the video. I had my motherfucking shades on opposite. I think that shit looked kind of tight. Though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I fucks with y'all. Much love.